How does your media product represent particular social groups?
Well,
so we've only got like 2 characters. So we've basically got like the psychotic character and the
young teenage girl.
Yeah, so for the young teenage girl, we wanted to make her, because obviously she's female and stereotypically females are
the
vulnerable,
weaker sex.
and yeah, so we kind of wanted to do that whole male getting the female instead of female getting the male, but just because we thought it'd be easier. So we mainly did it by our shot types, showed her like vulnerability. Full body shows how nervous she is, just shows all of her reactions really.
Yeah.
Low and high angles.
Sorry. We did a few like long shots of her entire body, like Sharon said, so that you could see her body language was quite closed. Like in one of the shots, she's walking with her arms folded, and she's quite like this.
And then we did low and high angles just to represent power and how
whenever the camera was on her, it was looking down on her, so that she was the lower
like
status.
Them.
Yeah, and whenever it was looking up at the male character, it was always from it was usually from a bottom angle, with quite a bit of backlighting so that you couldn't see his face, because we wanted to keep the mystery as well.
And we wanted to keep kind of like the teenager, normal teenager, and not kind of have like any difference, just so because people normally watch horrors to relate to them and get a bit of a thrill, and most successful horrors are where you can relate to the actual character.
So the female character that we had, she was just a normal teenager, and to represent that as well, I played the female character, and I just wore clothes from my own wardrobe, like nothing too outrageous, nothing too out there, just plain jeans and a hoodie, to represent that she was just taking a walk. So then when audiences watch it, they could think to themselves,
oh god, that could
happen to me. But obviously, because of the type of story it is quite unrealistic, because I don't think many people would chop up other people.
And then for the male protagonist, obviously male's more of the stronger sex, so...
And as well, when you think of if you think of a typical thug, you think like wearing a hoodie, don't show their faces, keep the head down a lot. So we wanted to show that as well. We rarely showed
it also
his face.
adds mystery and adds a bit of...
Which adds to the horror.
Yeah, you can't see like his facial expression, so the audience doesn't know what he's thinking, what he's about to do, if he's gonna hug her or kidnap her. Like, we wanted to keep that mystery kind of in there. So we portrayed him in like dark colours, dark clothing, like Lucy said, backlight, so he's completely dark, and
I think the only time we ever have a shot of the front of him is when it's a point of view shot of the girl, and she's tied up in the corner, and it's the only shot we have facing him. So we lit up the room so that you can't see his face, and he's completely in blackness. You can just see a silhouette of him.
Yeah.
The rest are either of his feet or
the back
like
of
from
him.
The side of him, so you can see his hood or the back.
Or like over his shoulder.
Because we wanted to represent, I wouldn't say like a typical thug, because not a lot of typical thugs, like I said before,
we wanted to create kind of like our own sort of character, but still taking bits from a social group. So obviously the thug aspect and the bit of a psychotic, having a bit of a breakdown aspect,
and as well, if you think about what's his name from Saw, the main guy from Saw who wears a mask, like it's like the clowny mask type thing, that obviously is a sense of mystery with keeping the face hidden. Is it John Kramer or something?
Something like that.
Obviously there's the mask on his face, so it's a bit, it gives you a thrill. So yeah, you know look, wait, I will show.
It's a doll.
Yeah, but he wears that mask occasionally.
I watched it.
Believe it or not. So keeps with the idea of the mystery, but at the same time, we also took inspiration from the Human Centipede. But the psychopath in that, never, like, he doesn't try and hide his identity.
Yeah.
So I think we were a little bit different with that.
He's more like trying to befriend them.
Yeah.
Whereas ours are just like downright psychotic. Yeah.
We basically, so to represent the male and the female, we used obviously the costume and the camera angles and camera shots. That's basically.
We did use a bit of the hypodermic theory, where he's took inspiration from Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So again, he's kind of relatable because anyone can really take inspiration from a book or a film and carry out those acts. So he's kind of relatable, but
we'd hope not.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not our intention for the film. So yeah, that's basically just how we represented a naive, vulnerable teenage girl, with the costume and with the way that she's portrayed with her body language, and the same for the psychopathic, stronger male with the camera angles.
In regards to class as well, we didn't want.
Yeah, we didn't want her to be too much of a low class or too much of a high class, which is why we just kept with the casual, just normal casual clothes. Like, if she'd have been dressed really smart, I just don't think he'd have gone for people who looked smart.
As well, though, we didn't kind of want like, oh, the working classes is more likely to get kidnapped, or the working class is more likely to be psychotic, or the higher class is more likely to be a psychopath. We didn't really want that.
Mental illness can happen to anyone.
Yeah, we kind of want like just a kind of in the middle. Everyone can relate to it. Everyone's a bit of everything.
Yeah, and the main reasons, like the uses and gratifications of the film, are mainly to watch for entertainment. So we don't want people to watch it and think, oh, that's like real life, because it's not like real life, which is why we kept the class neutral. Obviously, like we said, we represented that through clothing. Yeah,
that's it.
That is all.